Getting these skis off might be a little bit of a challenge, as some of these bolts, they're rusted up pretty good. So give them a little bit of shot of some WD-40 or some other penetrating liquid and see if we can get these things off without putting up too much of a fight anyway. Getting these factory skis off have been kind of a fun ride. The carnage from getting these skis off definitely are not pretty. Basically everything was seized up from sitting for so long. It's probably the only time those have ever been off, and since '97 when the skis were put on from the manufacturer. But we did get them off. I was able to get one on. One of the X colors was still fine, but the other one is shot. We're going to have to come up with something different. But couldn't help myself but to throw one of the skis on. Isn't that one of the better looking razors you've ever seen? Similar installation, just like the other ones. You got your dampener, your bolt and your washer. Get them started. You'll need to compress the dampener somewhat to get the holes to line up. Use like a wood block. Use the way of the sled to your advantage as best as you can, and then should bolt right up on. Just like that, we got the new custom razors put on, ski alignment done. Definitely spruces up the look versus the old metal skis, I would say. We got a white base with some sky blue, purple, and some black. Got the 6-inch shaper bar underneath. But we're not quite done yet. Made the trek down here to South St. Paul with David Fischer. David Fischer is another one of the racers. He's one that's really going to help me get this thing going to where we need it to be. So we already started, kind of clean off the motor a little bit more. I'll have to go through that airbox quite a bit.
Looks like something was living.
And we got a little bit of a hole here on the bottom.
Yeah, something had a little nest in it.
So David's got quite some plans for this thing. That involves with the shocks, clutching. We're going to do pipes. Obviously carbing we'll have to do with the pipes anyway. And trying to get this thing running better. It's one way how you can drain out a belly pan.
Oh, mucky mess.
But basically got everything, for the most part, stripped off and degreased, as you guys kind of saw in a time lapse. But let her dry out and move her onto a stand. He's already assessing his shock situation.
Looks a little rough.
Yeah, 5,000 miles and sitting outside can probably do that to you.
Need a little bit of fresh nitrogen. He'll be fine.
Next up, getting ready to take the skid out.
Yeah, I'll go through the shocks. See what we got.
These are going a lot better than my ski bolts did.
It's all the technique. Don't jinx us now, Ryan.
Sorry. That actually came out pretty simple.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, a little soft.
Yeah, they're blonde.
So what'd you do to, when you're gonna go through these, what do you really look for?
Well, we're gonna take them all the way down, pull them apart. Basically, there's no nitrogen in them at all.
Yeah.
So you're basically riding just on that spring. Oil's probably just paste, not even if it's even there anymore.
Right.
This one you can tell the steel head's been leaking, so this one's probably just bone dry. They just hopefully the shafts, they don't feel like they're pitted, so she'll be able to just put seals in it and nitrogen and fresh oil.
Yep.
Good to go.
You ready to
Add
rock?
oil because there's probably no oil in it.
Probably. Grease it all up for the Zerks. It'll take grease and.
Yeah, just make sure it's a ripper.
Yep.
Nothing crazy.
Oh yeah.
You want a four-seater?
Well, because a two-seater, height isn't like.
It's fighting, but it sounds like it's going.
She's going, slowly but surely.
The bottom ones came out okay. Now it's just getting the tight nooks and cranny way up top.
Maybe.
There you go. Got her out.
Oh, there you go.
First impressions? Old?
A little crusty, but yeah, it's there.
It's there.
It counts. It's there.
This is why I needed to bring this down to David, because that is a whole new realm. Shocks add suspension, you can firm and stiffen kind of for performance. When it comes to digging in and trying to rebuild them and touch them up, he's done that hundreds of times, and I've done those 0 times. If anyone wants a worn out carb boot, got one for sale. 20 bucks, our best offer.
Oh, I'd start at least at 45. It's got to be at least worth that.
Yeah, that's definitely shot, but got a new one. I know I am going to appreciate this, and I know Zach will also appreciate this, being both of us, all 6'2" to 6'4". These handlebars are way too low on these to be any sort of comfortable. So thankfully, David had had some handlebar risers and another bar sitting around that we can get creative with. We'll do some tests to make sure it fits right, but slowly modding this thing away. David has been kind of taking the reins, which has been great, because this whole modding expertise is definitely helpful.
Yeah, resurrecting some old shocks here. Who knows if these have ever been rebuilt since 97?
And over 5,000 miles later.
Yeah.
Very thankful for guys like Jeff with Sled Head 24/7 that knows a little bit more than I do about these, that's for sure.
I mean, all in all, they're not too bad. Yeah, we got some rust pitting, but that's under the bump, under the bump stop. That should be good. There's a little bit of nitrogen still left in there, so there's still some hope for the girl. But we'll freshen them up, clean them up. A little oil on the nitrogen side, which surprising it didn't have more.
And then also drain the oil out of the main body as well.
Yeah, we'll change the oil, we'll clean up the valve stacks. Maybe replace an O-ring or two. Oh yeah, see that we got nitrogen in the...
Okay, so a seal is probably bad then.
Yep, the floating piston O-ring is pretty common on these old drills. See, a little foamy. It hasn't been up and down, so we know there's nitrogen in there.
Yep.
But usually
Oh, there's that piston you got up.
here's our floating piston. This is supposed to separate the nitrogen from the oil.
Okay.
We'll replace that O-ring and should be as good as new. Maybe a little lube on these threads and
a little rusty.
see if we can get the spring adjustment to clean up and move again. We'll also go through and change some of our compression and rebound dampening here. But yeah, I mean, they're not all rusty or anything. Look pretty good. But we'll go in and, yeah, we'll make some changes here. We'll go back to some of our race specs and change our rebound and our compression dampening. And we're all set for that Tri-5.
Heck yeah. Well, Jeff got the shocks rebuilt. Gonna put those on. Took the exhaust off, took the hood off. Gonna be, oh yeah, check the chain case. We're slowly moving along this this project. David, sounds like David found some pipes we got to borrow. We're gonna do some stuff with the clutching with what formerly was what, Hot Shot, right?
Hot seat.
Hot Seat. So what's now is Speedworks. We got the skid all taken apart, shocks pulled out. Jeff is currently working on actually getting those rebuilt as well. David and I got the spare skid out here, spraying it down with some acid wash. Gonna get some of that nice shine back on here before we start putting it back together and putting it together with kind of the specs with how these were set up back when snowcross was going around in 97. So kind of a little, sort of a replica build, but not really, but we're giving it our best shot. Oh, Ryan.
So you better check out what we got in here.
Yeah. So some 5W30 motor oil. Definitely what you want to use in your snowmobile. Looks like we got a lot of spark plugs. I don't know if you can see in there. Oh yeah, a whole pile of them. Tow rope. Well, there she'll sit for about a week. David's taking off down to Texas, but we're gonna come back here next week, midweek sometime, try to get this thing buttoned up because we're getting short on some time. As a couple weekends, we actually got the Tri-5. So basically, we got everything tore down, cleaned up, and now it's just basically time for reassembly for what we got left. So make sure you guys stay tuned, but until then, ride safe.